Now you're going to go to your fuel door and you're going to check your fuel cap to make sure that it is secure. Your seal is secure, and you're going to visually check your cage underneath to make sure that nothing is hanging or leaking. Now you move on to the service door, and you're going to make sure that your door swings freely. Your seals, make sure that they're in good condition. Going to check the glass, make sure there's no cracks. Now we're going to enter our bus. We're going to make sure that our stairs are clean and secure, that our handrail is secure. We're going to check our fire extinguisher, make sure it is secure, that the pin is in, and it's in the green. We're going to look for our 3 reflective triangles. We're going to check for spare fuses, first aid kit, body fluid kit. They should both be secure and they are checked daily. Our accident reporting kit, our registration and insurance, we take them out, make sure they're both current and up to date. We're going to check our DVIR for the previous day to make sure that if anything was written up, that the garage signed off on it. We're going to check our radio. We're also going to touch the windshield and check the seals. This is a kick-out window. We want to make sure that it is secure. Next, we're going to work on our brake test. So we're going to sit, key in the ignition. We're going to put on our seatbelt to make sure that's working properly. We're going to make sure our seat is in the proper position so that you can see. We're going to scan all of our mirrors to make sure that they're adjusted for us. And then we're going to close the door. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is turn the key to the on position. And we're going to look for our ABS light to go on and off. Now we're going to do our neutral safety check. We're going to put the bus into drive, and we're going to try to start it. It should not start, and it doesn't. So now we're going to shift it back into neutral. Now we're going to start the bus and make sure that we have 2 full tanks of air before we start, which is at 120, and both gauges are at 120. So we're going to shut the bus down and put it in the on position. And we're going to wait for our gauges to settle. Now once our gauges settle, we're going to push in the parking brake, and we're going to wait for the initial drop, which is usually 5 to 15 psi. Okay, after the initial drop, we're going to press and hold the service brake. After the initial drop, it can't lose more than 3 psi in 1 minute. We're going to count out a full minute. There's the initial drop. So now I would count out a full minute. And now that I see that there's no more drop, I'm going to pump it down to around 60 psi, where the low air warning light and buzzer are going to come on. Both of my lights and buzzers are on. Now I'm going to pump it down to approximately 30 psi, and my parking brake is going to pop out. And there it is. So now that we have an empty tank, we have to start the bus and we have to refill the tanks. Now that's at 120, you could hear our air dryer just released. So now we're going to shut off the bus, make sure you take your key with you, and we're going to go pull the chocks. So now I pulled my chocks. Now I'm coming back in. Sit in your seat. Key in the ignition. Again, you put your seatbelt on. And then you're still checking your seat again, checking your mirrors again. And then we're going to close the door. And if you missed your ABS light before, here's a chance you can get it again. ABS on, ABS off. So now I'm going to start the bus. And I'm going to switch the transmission into first gear. First, we are going to test the parking brake. So with the parking brake on, we're going to rev it up to 1,000 RPMs for 5 seconds to make sure that the parking brake holds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my parking brake holds. Now we're going to check our service brake. So we're going to take off our parking brake. We're going to scan all of our mirrors before we ever roll the bus. And we're going to roll up at 5 miles per hour. And we're going to slam on our brakes. The steering wheel did not pull to the left or the right, and there's less than 2-inch latch on our steering wheel. Now we're going to go through all of our gears to make sure that they shift smoothly and that there's no unusual noises. Second gear, blocks, no unusual noises. Fourth gear, blocks, no unusual noises. Drive, blocks, no unusual noises. Neutral, no unusual noises, and it locks. Now when I switch it into reverse, we're going to make sure that our window is open. We're going to listen for the backup buzzer. And we're going to check our brake lights and our reverse lights by reflection or buddy system. I can hear the buzzer, and we would check the lights by reflection or buddy system. Now you secure the bus, and that completes the brake test.